If you believe that Daniel's 70th week has been fulfilled, how was it fulfilled?
And so unless someone has gotten to you ahead of time, in other words, if you are a young Christian who just got saved and you had no preconceived idea, I don't think you could possibly read Daniel 9 and get Antichrist out of that chapter. I think someone's got to brainwash you in order for you to think that way.
Oftentimes what we do, particularly when we look at a passage such as this, is we read our theology or we read our preconceived thoughts into the text rather than reading the text in its proper context and letting the text tell us what it is and conforming our thoughts to it. And I can just tell you that that was probably one of the more difficult things for me to do, to unhitch myself from the theology that I was taught and grew up in, and just to let the Bible speak for itself, you know. How do you say that a future Antichrist in a future 70th week is going to finish the transgression? What does that look like? How is a future Antichrist in a future 70th week going to make an end of sins, right? But we can look at our New Testament and we can see that the majority of these things are fulfilled in the cross of Christ.
Amen.
That his crucifixion is the climax of this entire prophecy.
Has there ever been another example of a gap whenever a timeline has been declared? You know, when God told Noah 120 years and a flood's going to come. You know, when God told him you're going to be in the wilderness for 40 years. You know, now I changed my mind, I'm going to add 10. It's gonna bother people to admit they've been calling a passage about Jesus the Antichrist. And I can tell you that right now. It's nobody's gonna want to admit that. Is stubbornness gonna kick in and people gonna get crazy, and then are we gonna get accused of all kinds of nasty stuff? I don't know. I don't care that much, but at the same time, I do think this discussion needs to happen, and I think this has been a really good one. I think it shows a major insecurity, just a fragile ego when people can't talk about these things.